Welcome to my Wednesday night show of Over to You, and we're talking about Devika Day Centres with Caroline Ignatius and Katie Peters. They're from Ferrars Hall Care Home, and we will talk about it in depth very shortly. Caroline and Katie, good evening to you both. How are you?
Hello, Norman. I'm fine, thank you.
Caroline, yourself?
Thanks for having us. Very well, thank you.
You're welcome. Caroline, tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Me? I run a group of day centres that specialise in helping people in the community live better with dementia. The reason I've chose this career path is because both my mum and dad live with dementia, and I want to use some of my experience to help others.
Good. And yourself, Katie?
So I'm the Senior Customer Relations Manager at Ferrars Hall Care Home. So I support the transition process for people who are looking to move into full-time or temporary residential care.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Caroline, was it because of your parents that you decided to launch the Devika Day Centres, or was it something else besides?
It was definitely my parents. Well, I say parents, it was parent at the time. So I named my company after my mum because she's 14 years into her dementia journey now. So we've been through a lot of stages with her. I'm still learning. Obviously, I'm not an expert, but I wanted to use some of that experience, like I said, to help others. But then 4 months after I actually launched my first day centre in Peterborough, my dad had a stroke and was diagnosed with vascular dementia. So it's actually, it's for both of them. They inspire me every day. Like I said, I'm still learning on Dad's journey as well, because vascular is very different to Alzheimer's.
It is. It's a more serious form, isn't it, your vascular dementia?
Yeah, he's got a blood clot on his brain, which cannot be operated on, but he's doing great, and learning every day.
Yeah. Do you do them every day, or do you only do them on certain days of the week?
So we have a day centre at Ferrars Hall once a week on a Wednesday. So it's every week. The only time we close is between Christmas and New Year. But we actually have 8 in total now. So we've been running. We opened our first one in August 2022. So it'd be 2 years in August, and we've got 8, and we're planning to expand as much as we can.
How do they work?
They are designed for all stages of dementia, but specifically targeted towards mid to late stages, just because we feel there's less services out there for that stage. So people would come to us at 10 o'clock in the morning and spend 5 hours with us while the carers actually get some respite time. And during that time, we stimulate them mentally and physically. And it's just a safe place where people with dementia can be themselves around people that really understand what's happening in their world.
Do you just take people from the care home, or do you take people from the
No, this is actually designed for people in the community. So for carers caring for their loved ones at home, so they get some time free to then be themselves and do what they need to do while we look after their loved ones for 5 hours.
Good. Now, I'm going to step aside a little bit. I'm going to go to Katie now. Katie, tell us a little bit about Ferrars Hall, first of all.
So we are a purpose-built 66-bedded care home. We opened in 2016, so we're very well established now. And I think what sort of drives us is offering person-centred care in a luxury setting, but with the added bonus of there always being somebody there for people that need that little bit of extra help and support.
Mm-hmm. Good. So what was your... I can't remember now, because I remember doing the first interview one time with you, somebody from there. What's your aim to provide the people that you take care of? What's your aim, or the purpose of what you do?
I think the purpose of what we do at Ferrars Hall is to provide person-centred care in a beautiful setting, but to be led by kindness and dignity and compassion. All of those things are key in providing good care for people, so that's what we always strive and endeavour to do. Okay, right.
I'm going to ask you now, what do people expect when they move into the Ferrars Hall? I asked you before, you said you're full, aren't you?
We are.
So if you did have a spare slot, what would a new resident expect when they get there?
I think to be greeted with kindness initially, And we accept that this is a journey for people, and everybody's journey looks different. No two people are the same. Everybody adapts to change in different ways. So it's about investing the time in that person, getting to know them, and how we can adapt to fit their daily routines, because routines are so important, particularly within dementia care. People thrive on a certain level of repetition, and it's the security of knowing what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and who will be supporting you with that task associated with day-to-day living.
Yeah. You, as regards your care, what do you or are your staff expected to give to the residents? What sort of care are they expected to give to the residents?
So that changes from resident to resident, because whilst we offer dementia care, we also offer residential care. So there are varying degrees of independence. And whether we're talking about residential care or dementia care, our aim is never to deprive anyone of their independence. It's to promote it, to maintain it, and hopefully give them a little bit of confidence back that there are still things that they can do independently or with a little bit of support and guidance. So it varies from person to person. We're very fortunate. We've got residential residents that still drive. They'll go out in their cars, which they keep at the home. So their care looks very different to somebody who's maybe on a journey, maybe mid to late stages with dementia. So the focus and the most important part is looking at that person as an individual and seeing where we can maybe fill in the gaps, but also where we can promote and boost their independence.
Now, I've got to ask this one. I don't get me wrong when I ask it.
Okay.
Do you keep dementia patients separate from your compos mentis patients?
So how the home is sort of, I suppose, split. We're across 3 floors, and the floors are based on dependency need, because you would never want anyone to come into a care setting and either be out of their depth or under, if you see what I mean. So it's about, we spend a lot of time with people before they come to us, either as respite residents or full-time residents, getting to know them, getting to understand their level of need. And the aim is to always place them in the appropriate part of the home, depending on their care and support needs. But all the communal spaces within the home, of which there are many, they're all accessible to all of our residents. Some people may need a little bit more support accessing those spaces, but that's what we're there to provide.
Good. Now, how does the team at Ferrars Hall and the Devika Day Centre support people under their care? Caroline?
I'll go first. So we aim to, when I set this up, my initial aim was to help people stay at home for longer. So by providing a chance for the carers to actually have a break, but also for the people with dementia to come in and use their mind and stimulate their brain and just help them be better in themselves. That was the initial goal for me. But I have found that there is a secondary benefit of coming to the day centre, and that is where people actually are down their journey and they actually need that maybe a bit more care, and they need maybe a respite period in the care home or even go into full-time care. If they're familiar with the environment they've been coming to, it does make that transition a lot easier, because I've been there myself. It's moving a loved one into care is traumatic. Yeah. So if I can ease that journey a little bit, make it a bit more comfortable and familiar, then I'm seeing that as a benefit as well, which is great.
So I think I would reflect and mirror what Caroline has said. Our relationship at Ferrars Hall and at Devika, it's so important because it will eventually become intertwined further down the line. And I think dispelling any myths or preconceived notions about what care settings are like is really important, and that's part of what Caroline's service offers people. It's the opportunity to come into a place that they might never have done so before because they were maybe anxious about it or very nervous, and seeing that it is a beautiful setting with really good staff, lots of good facilities, and it makes that next step when they need it a little bit easier because they know that there's a support network in place. All of our staff, we know who Caroline's attendees are. We know their loved ones, their friends, their family that might drop them off. They get exactly the same greeting as any visitor who's coming to see a resident in our home. So it's just about providing that safety net for them if they do need it in future.
Good. Tell us about the facilities you've got at Ferrars Hall.
So we are really fortunate being a purpose-built home. When the home was coming up out of the ground, we could add all these extra bits and pieces on. So we have got a beautiful coffee lounge / garden room on the ground floor of the home that's accessible to all the residents. This leads out onto our garden where we have an aviary, really nicely appointed garden, beautifully landscaped. We have a cinema room, which is where Caroline's sessions take place on a Wednesday. Again, really nice space. We can move all the furniture around. It is a cinema, but we can use it for other purposes as well. Lots of beautiful, large, open plan lounges and diners. We have a private dining room as well that residents and their families can utilise if they've got a birthday and anniversary. Because obviously we appreciate sometimes there can be mobility challenges for people, and going out becomes very overwhelming, not only for that person in our care, but for their family as well. Because it's all the little things that we wouldn't think about, like the toilet. Am I going to be able to get into where we're going? Is there steps? That kind of thing. So we can offer that facility in our home with like a silver service, which is always really nice. We have a recently refurbished sort of reminiscence area of the home up on our higher dependency floor, so it's been done to look sort of a bit like a village green and shop. So we've got lots of interactive things in there that our residents living with dementia who they can reminisce, they can use those things. So yeah, lots of lovely spaces in the home.
Caroline, what can an attendee at your sessions expect? What can they expect with Ferrars Hall?
Okay, so when they come to our day centres, we never have a plan. And that might sound a bit chaotic, but it's for a reason. We know that people with dementia all have different abilities. They all have different interests. And these abilities and interests can actually vary from week to week as well. So we never make a plan. We just settle everybody with a cup of tea and a biscuit when they arrive, or a cup of coffee, depending on their preferences. And we offer activities. So we have a whole box full, don't we, Katie? Yes. A big box. It varies from sporting activities, such as we have a safety dartboard, which is popular. An inflatable football, which we just kick around all in while sitting down. We have the usual stuff, puzzles and large print crosswords, colouring, but quite unusual ones as well. Like we have a remote control car, which people love. We get very creative with these, but we also, when I speak to people about attending, I do take information about their interests and maybe past activities or hobbies, and we try to link the activities to that person.
Okay.
So they might find something familiar maybe, because we have, for example, a putting green, an indoor one. So for somebody that used to golf, it would be perfect. So these activities go on throughout the day. We have lunch at 12:30. And then I also actually book entertainment. So we have 2 singers a month. And one of them is actually my sister, who started her own business doing, she sings, but she brings instruments, they play along. We also have a personal trainer that comes along and does chair exercises to keep people physically fit. And then we're actually trying out a saxophonist soon.
Nice.
So we're trying to keep it varied and buy activities tailored for that person.
Okay, now I've got to ask you this, and it's not a very nice thing to ask, but how much does it cost I'm going to call them a customer, shall I say?
Sure. For a customer right now, we'd pay £12.50 an hour for our service, so it's a total of £60. I have positioned that there because I do understand the costs for home care can be quite high depending on what you need. So I wanted to position it lower than that because, it's a group setting. But yeah, £12.50, that includes lunch and all the entertainment and everything. So
that's reasonable. That's
Thank
very
you.
reasonable. Yeah. So, back to you, Katie. How do you help somebody moving into the home get on with the next chapter of their life? How do they fit in, or how can they how can you help them? Sorry.
I think initially what helps us to formulate a very loose and fluid plan is the pre-admission assessment, which we do for all prospective residents coming into the home. So there is a bit of clinical background involved in that in terms of past, medical history, medications, anything, that they're currently living with that they need support with. But there is a big focus on their day-to-day routine at home, their likes, their dislikes, from food to drink to hobbies and how they like to spend their time. But we also try and focus on, what that person maybe did as their profession, or any passions and things like that. And that all helps to build a picture of somebody. So that's like the baseline information. Everybody's journey into a care home is going to be different. Some people come in and it's like they've never been anywhere else. They just slot right in. They, want to join in with everything. And for other people, coming into a communal setting can be quite overwhelming. They might not be comfortable doing like large group activities. So it's about sort of tailoring our support to that person. It's just taking the time to get to know them as an individual and how we can provide that support that's necessary.
As I asked Caroline just a few seconds ago, how much does it cost to be a resident at your home this present moment in time?
So it depends on the outcome of the pre-admission assessment. It is variable to level of need, but the fee at Ferrars Hall starts from £1,550 per week.
Right, okay. If the person runs out of funds, you don't throw them out, do you?
No, so that's where my role changes slightly. So we accept that obviously people don't have an infinite amount of funding, and a large majority of people will have to sell their properties to fund their care for a period of time. So all that we ask from either the resident, if they're still in charge of their financial affairs, or their friends, family, whoever it might be that holds LPA for that person, is just to let us know when they're approaching the time that they need support from the local authority. And then as a home, particularly me in my role, I will help them to navigate that. And we will provide them support in terms of contacting the county council, what to expect, because we have a large input into that. It's not just a case of someone calling up and saying, I need some money from the council now. There's a huge process behind it. There's a care needs assessment, there's a financial assessment. All of those are completed by the council. But as a home, what we do is we provide evidence-based information to the council about someone's need, the support we give them, and all of that helps to back that application for funding moving forward.
Do you think that a lot of people who would normally go into a care home don't go into the care home because they don't know at the time that if their funds run out, they can get help elsewhere?
I think that is always a concern for people, and it's an understandable concern as well, because it's hard enough to move into a care home initially. You then don't want to feel like you're going to have to do it all over again in 3, 4, 5 years' time, however long it may be. So I think there is a little bit of fear about that, but I do always try, whenever I speak to anyone as an initial inquiry and they ask about the funding, that is a conversation that we have, and obviously everybody's different, they have different circumstances, so I try and support them as best I can with their individual circumstances.
Do the new residents, are they allowed to bring their own furniture with them, or is it a no-no?
So all of our rooms are fully furnished. Right. So they come with a nice easy chair in there, but some residents may have their own rise and recline chair, which they'd prefer. So that can come with them. We actively encourage our long-term residents to bring photos, bring pictures. We've got a fantastic maintenance man. He'll put them on the wall where they might like them. And if residents want to have their own beds, that can be done as well. But as a standard, yes, all the rooms come fully furnished, but it can be changeable.
Well, that's true. Now, Caroline, what do you like about your role?
I love bringing happiness to people. Seeing people take part in things they never would believe they could. I love my team. I've never run a business before, so having a team that I really care about is something new to me. I love being in a position where I wake up in the morning and I don't think, I've got work today.
Yeah,
it's more
you're ready to go.
I'm ready, because being around people with dementia, to me, is one of the most joyous occasions. Obviously there are tough moments, but you still feel a sense of satisfaction when you really do care about these people and you can help them through those situations and leave knowing you really did help them.
Are you permanently based at Ferrars Hall, or do you move around?
So I am at 5 of my day centres, because we've got 8. I can't be everywhere. But my our longest standing day centres, my team run for us. But I am at Ferrars every week.
Oh, that's good. That's good. What about you, Katie? What's the best thing about your role?
I think for me, it's about being someone who can provide a certain level of support at a really uncertain time in people's lives. And I think, as Caroline said, just seeing a positive change in people and them engaging in things that maybe they never thought that they would, or helping them to realise that this part of their life, it's not an ending, it's a new beginning, and it's a positive thing. And I think as well, same as Caroline, I look forward to going to work. I'm really passionate about what it is that I do. I'm passionate about what Ferrars Hall does as a standalone home, but also Country Court, part of which is the group that we're part of. It's a real privilege to be able to work for a family-owned and operated business that we've recently celebrated our 40th anniversary.
They've been around that long?
Yes, 40 years. It's 40 years last year. So the first home opened in 1983.
Wow.
Really? Wow, that's going back a few years.
Can I add to that?
Yeah, of course you can.
Just because Kate's mentioning Country Court and how much she loves working there, I just want to say I'm so grateful to them. I actually was looking for a venue when I was setting up the day centre. I was looking for somewhere that was safe, somewhere that was beautiful, somewhere that had disabled toilets, a kitchenette, and it dawned on me that care homes have actually got all of those facilities I need. I actually emailed every single care home in Peterborough, because that's where I'm from, and Country Court were the only ones that got back to me.
Really?
Saying, come and have a chat to us, and they really are passionate about helping people in the community. So we're so grateful, because without them we couldn't have done this.
Excellent.
Yeah.
It's very good, isn't it? Very good. So there you go, Country Court, well done. long may you reign, as the saying goes. Caroline, tell me how someone attending your daycare centre improves their life or improves their lives, especially with dementia.
Yeah, so I touched on a couple before. It was the mental stimulation, the physical stimulation, but there are things that I've seen that I never expected. So I'll give you an example. We play a lot of sometimes group games, like throwing hoops over sticks in the ground, and what other ones? So even just darts. What I've seen is that people love encouraging other people. So it's the social element, I think. I always knew the social element would have an impact, but I think seeing people have the opportunity to, cheer someone on, to congratulate them, to, go, oh, don't worry, get it next time, that kind of thing. Because people with dementia ultimately do rely on their carers or people around them to help them. And it's giving them that autonomy where they feel like they're helping others. We do have one attendee, for example, that actually comes to help us. So he's not completely aware he's an attendee, but he gets so much out of it because he comes and takes part in organising things, and it's just, there's loads of benefits. But socialisation, stimulation, and of course the carers having a bit of a break is just an added bonus.
Yeah, that's most important. Katie, a quick one for you. Talk us through what somebody's day in Ferrars Hall looks like.
So it's all completely different, and that's the beauty of person-centred care. There is no, outside of meal times, which are set times, there is no firm and fast routine as to how people spend their free time. We're really fortunate. We've got a really fantastic wellbeing team within the home, and they spend a lot of time planning a whole week's worth of activities. We've got really good support from the local community, so lots of visitors, lots of groups, therapy dogs that come in as well. So there's lots of different options depending on what people would like to do, and we always make sure people know what's going on, when it's going on, and that they've got the option to participate if they want to.
Brilliant. Caroline, what are the future plans for Devika as a company?
Okay, so we have, like we said, we've got 8 day centres right now. We never want to turn anybody away. That's the plan. So we will keep opening these as long as people need us. But my long-term plan is actually to have my own dementia specialist, just dementia care home.
Okay.
That's what I would like.
So you just want
only a small goal.
Not a residential one,
No.
just a dementia.
We wouldn't. No, yeah, we wouldn't compete with the likes of Country Court. It would be small boutique dementia only homes, designed in a very specific way, with people dementia in mind.
That's good. Excellent. Okay, Katie, when can we expect to see Ferrars Hall in regards to community events this summer?
I have got things in the pipeline for the summer. We are in the process of planning a summer garden party, so that will be for friends, family, and all of our fantastic community contacts that we have. And I'm hoping, I have spoken to Bill, I'm hoping we're going to get a stall at the Huntingdon Carnival as well. We were there last year. We had really good fun, but it would be really nice for Caroline to be able to join me this year.
I'm coming.
You're coming,
I've never been. I'm excited.
It's good fun.
Okay. Oh, you said something you're actually planning further ahead than the summer. Okay.
Well, yeah, I've always got Christmas in mind. So we were really lucky last year. We had a really successful indoor Christmas market at Ferrars Hall. So I'm hoping to replicate that again this year. But obviously all these things take time to plan. So I'm going to get onto it in the coming months.
There are only 8 months till Christmas.
I know, I'm just wishing my life away here, aren't I?
Katie didn't ask for any Christmas songs, Norm.
8 months tomorrow. 8 months tomorrow.
Oh my God.
25th tomorrow. So it's 8 months tomorrow. So there you go, you see. Okay, let's get back to Caroline. So how do you balance being involved in your mum and dad's care and running the business?
So it's a challenge. I do feel like mum and dad currently give me the motivation to go and do better and help others. But it is tough. I mean, being a carer, especially full-time, which I've experienced, is a difficult role, and hats off to anyone that takes it on. I did it for a year, but people do it for years and years. It's really hard. When your loved one moves into a care home, the care doesn't stop, it's just different. So my dad still knows how to use his phone, God bless him. So we speak a lot on the phone, which is lovely.
That's
good. Yeah, it's hard. It's just, they are everything that I'm trying to achieve. They're inspiring everything. So, yeah, it's manageable.
Okay, that's good. Katie, give the listeners some advice if they're giving or they're planning to give a family member or a loved one about to move into the hall.
I think the biggest piece of advice I could give is to approach it with an open mind. There is a lot that is different about living in a communal setting, and everybody's journey there and from move-in date is different. So I think it's about, having a level of open-mindedness and flexibility as well, because no 2 days are going to be the same. And it's remembering as well, particularly when you're supporting someone who is living with dementia, it's remembering all of those good qualities in that person. They haven't gone away. They might have just changed slightly, or you maybe have to try different things to be able to access them and unlock them. So it's that adaptability that's important to bear in mind as well.
Now, Caroline, you said to me before to make sure I ask you this question. You're looking for volunteers, aren't you?
Well, I'm actually looking for volunteers and team members, yes.
Team members.
Thank you for mentioning that. We are expanding, so we are looking in Huntingdon, but it's quite difficult to find someone suitable for a couple of reasons. I'm not looking for anybody specifically experienced with dementia. I feel like I could guide someone and teach them the ways they'd learn on the job, but it's really looking for someone with a pure, kind heart. That's all I need. That's all I ask for, and I'm so lucky to have found 5 of them already. But yeah, I need more. So,
do they have to have nursing experience, or you're quite happy to take people just?
So we ask for a level 2 minimum as a carer role, but we have an activities role as well, which doesn't need any qualifications. But the challenge sometimes I find with recruiting for day centres, it is only 5 hours a week. So it's not a full-time role. It's not even a part-time role. It's like a part-time role. But I will say, if anybody joins us, it is so rewarding. So if this is you listening and looking for 5 hours a week, just a little job, then please get in touch.
Get in touch. There you go, folks. Get in touch if you want.
And if you're kind.
If you're kind, then you've got to be kind. And you don't need full nursing qualifications. A level 2 carers qualification is good, correct?
Yeah, it's a level 2 in health and social care for a carer role.
Okay, right, good. Or you can just be a carer, did you say?
You can just be involved in the activities, so no actual care roles there, with no qualifications.
Okay. What about you, Kate? Are you looking for volunteers for your place, or are you always looking?
We are always excited and keen on anybody who wants to come into the home to give up their free time. They might have a specialist skill or a hobby that they want to share with our residents. So any community-based groups that want to come in and spend time with our residents, we're always very happy with that. Okay.
Caroline, if they want to contact you, how can they do it?
So through the website will probably be the easiest, which is just www.devikacarecompany.co.uk.
It's Devika, which is Devika. And it's your mum's name, you said?
Yes.
Okay. What about you, Katie? How can they contact you if they want to get an inquiry about the hall?
So the best way to reach me would be on the home's main number, which is 01480 456 359. The receptionist basically will pass you through to me.
Okay, and you're there all the time, so somebody's not going to ring up and say, "Oh, she's not in, she just popped out for a minute."
I am there Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, but usually a little bit after 5.
Right,
so it's not difficult to get hold of me. But you can just Google Ferrars Hall. Yeah. It will take you to our website. We have a live chat function on there, so all of that feeds through to me. And there's the email addresses as well on there.
Do you have to walk around with a pager on all the time?
No, fortunately.
I was going to say.
But I don't very often turn my work phone off. So.
Oh, you do? All right. Okay. You don't turn your work phone off.
No.
Oh, okay, that's great. Ladies, have you got anything to say? Would you like to say hello to anybody before we finish?
Yes. I've got a wonderful business partner, Kevin, who I'd like to thank him for all the support. Now he's on board, things are getting a bit easier for me. Obviously, massive shout out to our attendees, hello, and their families, who I see as family. My beautiful partner, Adam, who's very supportive, and my wonderful team, and of course, my mum and dad.
UKT, you got anybody you want to say hello to?
So all the residents at Ferrars Hall, the fantastic staff team that we have there, my lovely husband, who is doing solo parenting tonight so that I can be here to talk to you. And I think Caroline as well. I want to say thank you for bringing something different into the sector that is very much needed, and we couldn't be more proud to support her. It's lovely when you meet someone else whose values align with yours and what you're trying to achieve.
Excellent. Thank you, ladies, for coming in this evening. I hope you've enjoyed yourself.
We have.
Good.
Thanks for having us.